Got a Whirlpool washer. Now this unit has a couple of issues, and this is what it looks like. So if you have this machine and you're having issues with the basket bouncing up and down super bad, okay, bouncing, not even going to show it, it's not necessary. If you have bad suspension rods, you know what we're talking about. The basket is super spongy and bouncy. Now this unit actually has another issue, and the issue is probably a tub hub, which is underneath the agitator. If we can get that agitator off, I'll show it to you, but this will be your determiner whether or not you should even fix this. Now if you watch my video, you might be able to fix it and save a lot of money. If you have to call a tech in, it's not worth it. The labor is going to kill you, and it's not worth it at all. So to determine if you have a tub hub, if you look at the basket, you're going to have your outer and your inner. And what you want to do, pretty much just hold the outer basket from moving, and with one hand you're going to push the drum, inner drum, and you should not have, or you shouldn't see a movement. Okay, you can see I'm holding it pretty good. See that? See that? Hopefully you can see it. Let me get a better angle here. See that? Totally moving. Look at that. And that's just the inner basket. Pretty much. See it? So this needs to come out, and we need to see if we can get to the tub hub, and then we got to do the rods. So it needs a lot of work. If you're experiencing this, you might be better off, you know, instead of calling out somebody, just chunk the machine, get another machine. Or you can find a good used machine with a bad board, then you can just transfer the entire tub, and you got another machine. Save some money. All right, let's see if we can get this thing out. Now I've talked a lot about not using an impact on these. If this is your washer that you're trying to fix, be very mindful. You're better off not using an impact. On this washer, if it breaks off, it does, I don't really care. So, but I'm just warning you, don't use an impact. This is heavy duty. Spray some PB blaster and let it sit, and wear some earplugs as well. Beautiful. Comes out good. Now, two ways of dealing with this. I do have a video where we actually heat this thing up. Comes off no problem. And another thing you can pour is CLR, calcium, lime, and rust. It breaks the bond, allows it to come off quite easily. You know, other stuff, that's pretty much what you want to use. Or you can actually just damage it, airbag under it, and this will break, it will snap, and then you can fight to get the metal insert. But the best bet, if you have another agitator, which I recommend, go ahead and torch it. It will burn. The heat will expand the metal. Pops right off, like literally in minutes. So we're going to try and get it off regular, wiggle it, and see. If it doesn't work, then we're going to use the heat. All right, so here we go. Like I said, these things sometimes they come off and sometimes they just don't. I think this one's coming. Let's see it. It's moving. No, it's coming. It's wiggling. There we go. I can see it. And it's good to actually rotate the arms. All right, let's try again. It's coming. Take a look. See that? Unless that's just an illusion. Yeah, it looks like it was moving. Maybe not. That was the top of the bolt head. So, I don't know. I thought it was actually moving. So, alright. So, I'm going to do my heat. I really hate to damage another one of these. But what do you do? So, it's just the nature of the beast. They're just horrible, horrible. Alright, let's heat it up. Quick heat and see if the heat will expand the metal enough to get it off. Not enough, this thing is moving. I'm gonna heat it up. Look at that. Nice. Very good. That worked out well. And what is that junk on there? Well, stuff you find in machines. It's not funny. Alright, so that's the tub hub. So we're one step closer, so we can actually replace this tub hub. And they do sell the metal ones. I am not a total big fan of them. I think some washers actually years ago, Whirlpool used them. And the only issue I find with them, they end up eating the transmission shaft. And it's cheaper to replace this than the transmission. So, and they last quite long, 5 years. So, if you don't overload, even longer. Alright, so let's get this taken off and let's get a new one on it. Not bad. I did not damage it. So, still pretty good. Still pretty good. Alright, heat works. Alright, so before you start, it's a good practice. You can put a towel or something down around here to catch any screws that might fall. Sometimes you'll lose a screw and then we'll get down there and then you have to pull the drum out to deal with that. Get a flat blade screwdriver and pry this keeper out. And then you have, I think, 6 screws. 2, 4, 6. Alright, so let's remove that first and then we take those screws out. Okay. So this is the inner drum and look at it moving. See that? That should not be at all. You can literally see it going in and out. So that tub hub is totally stripped and it is no good. I did say a flat blade screwdriver. You could technically use any tool that you can get in there. This is a flat blade. It fits better. And once you get it halfway out, you can just tap it. Screws. Just be mindful. I think they feel stripped. That's weird. Alright guys, so this particular tub hub was very, very problematic. After I got the agitator off, I almost didn't even want to deal with it. But I already got it off, so I said, why not? Might as well get it done. And as you can see, a couple of the screws, I got out, I think 4, and the other 2, as you will see shortly, were totally stripped. So I could not even get them out. So we had to pretty much break the agitator, as you can see. And well, right now I'm actually tapping the screw head. And what that does, it allows the screwdriver to seat better, so you're able to get a good grip and actually remove the screws. So basically this can occur when a washer is either been sitting or had a lot of bleach, and it just causes the screws and whatnot to corrode. So be mindful of that if you do have that. If you do run into some screws that are bad, you might have to replace the screws. I wouldn't put back the old ones in. In other words, don't use the same old ones that if they're difficult to come out. And we're just using a little bit of heat to actually hit to the base of the screws. Sometimes it's a little help and it will get them out. So just pretty much take your time with it. It will come out. On this one, we had to use the screwdriver and pretty much break the old tub hub. And of course, I used my torch, and I was able to use the torch as a hot knife and slice it, basically like take a section out. And once that was done, I was able to basically use a pliers and extract the screws after the part was broken up, the tub hub. So this one is definitely a pain in the butt. So I hope that yours isn't like that. It might also be a good idea when you're ordering your tub hub to go ahead and order a set of screws just in case, so you have good new screws to go with the project. That's probably a good idea, because if yours are in good shape, then you're good to go. If not, then at least you have extra screws, I guess. Alright guys, so I got 4 and there are 2 that are left. So what we're going to do, those 2 that are right here. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to heat this up with my torch, red hot, and I'm going to press down here and here, basically cutting a sandwich out and removing this, and then dealing with this. If we get this low enough, we can actually use a pliers or a channel lock and remove the 2 screws. We might have to replace the screws, but I noticed they're okay going in, just taking out they're difficult to remove. But we'll probably just replace those screws. All right, we should be free. So we're off. You can see, totally worn out, totally. All right, so now we got to fight to get this other piece off. Looks like some clothing or something had got caught around the base of this. Look at that. All right, so if it was only one, it would be a lot easier. Now, you don't want to pry this up because you'll destroy the threads. So what we need to do, we need to get this, if you get this broken in between, like half, you're able sometimes to twist it out. And it's pretty brittle, so it will snap. I think it just did. All right. All right, so now it might actually be under less pressure now to where you're actually able to use just a regular screwdriver and pull them out. I've seen that as well because the pressure is no longer there. Let's see. No, he's not turning. Both of these are not turning. Sometimes you can actually break the plastic from around the head. So you would pry up slightly, but you don't want to pull the screw out. You don't want to destroy the thread. So, and watch your eyes. Okay, there you go. See that? Now we have the screw just sitting there, and we can just use a tool and extract it. And same thing you'll do with this one. Get under it and just pry up. Okay, so we got them, and hopefully you guys had a towel down to catch any small pieces that are flying up, so you don't have to fish those things out, stuff falling into your pump and causing more issues. All right, that's the new part. So now we just got to get those out, and we're going to use a channel lock and get them out. All right, so before you put your tub hub in, go ahead and check these areas. As you can see, got a coin. Look at that, that thing's been in there for a while. Okay, check around here, clean these areas as well. Get a wire brush and clean the splines. Push up as you clean, and anything that's on there, you want to get it off before you reinsert your new piece. And sometimes down in these areas, you'll find coins, and you can lay your machine on the front sometimes, and you'll get all these things out. But it's a good practice to just check and see what's in your machine. I think we got a piece of, what is this? Look at that. So these things will get in your pump and eventually cause issues. So take the time and get your machine fixed properly. Alright, so once you've done your cleaning, it's not perfect, but all the major stuff is done. You want to get this cleaned. This is the splines area. You want to make sure that you have a good mating between the tub hub. Alright, so these go on, you can't really mess it up. You have the indentation and what's the term? The ones that pop out. Concave, and so you want to make sure that you line up the holes for the screws. Wiggle it. You can also turn the tub slightly. And you shouldn't have to force it down. If you have to use a hammer, you're doing something wrong. So you pretty much just want to tap it, if anything, and just wiggle it down until it seats. Alright, you do have a little bit of space still left, so you want to make sure that it's fully seated. Main thing is the holes. Then you can actually use the screws to slowly pull them down. I don't like to do that. You put a lot of stress on those screws. So you might have to turn the tub slightly, okay? So what you're gonna have to do, hold this piece and turn the tub until your holes are fully lined up. It looks like I'm off. Let me get my pick and see. It looks like I'm off. So let's find out. Okay, so if you're not totally sure if your holes are lined up, you basically insert and feel around. And if you're not feeling any holes, there we go. So I'm in, but it's not straight. So basically you're gonna just turn. Just like that. Now you can see they're totally straight. And anything you insert should go straight on in if it's small enough. Hold is good. Hold is good. Hold is good. Alright, so all these holes are good. Now it's just time to insert our screws back in. Sturdy now. The drum doesn't move back and forth like it was. Look at that. Now, if you look carefully, there are a pathway to insert it. Okay? And this piece actually slides over the screw, the head of the screw. Okay, so there's really no right or wrong way. If you put it one side and you notice it's stubborn, try another. Don't force anything. You might have to tap. Go crazy. Now we still got to go a little bit further in. You want to cover that screw. Use the old one. That's it. You want to have a gap. See the gap? Right there. Alright, this is done. We were able to save this. Now, sometimes what I like to do before I put these back on, get a little bit of grease, not a lot, insert it, and that keeps corrosion away. So let me do that. Nice. Just a little bit. You can also put it on the shaft. In fact, let's put it on the shaft. You don't want anything to be making a mess. Okay, all right, got our nut. All right, so we got our nut. Sorry, we got our bolt in. Got our cover. And we're fixed. That's that. All right. This machine actually needs suspension rods. So that will be another video probably. We'll see. All right, guys. Thanks for watching.